Good morning, scholars. Happy Monday. It is our last week of school. What is your last week of first grade? You guys are doing an awesome, awesome job. We have been doing remote learning through YouTube and Google Classroom for almost 3 months now, and you guys have been doing an excellent job with it. So it's your last week. You only have 4 more days of videos. I'm very proud of all of your hard work. This week in guided reading, we're going to be reading informational text. We're going to be reading Yes, informational text. So these are books. Let me ask a question. Are these books that tell a story or give information? Let's think. An informational text. Does an informational text tell a story or give information? Pause your video and answer that question now. Well, we know a book that tells a story has character, problem, setting, and resolution. And we know that books that are informational texts give us information. They give us information about a topic. So I want you to look at our book today and tell me, what do you think we are going to be learning about today? That is right. We are going to be learning about basketball. Friends, why do you think we're going to learn about basketball today? I want you to pause your video and think, why do you think we're learning about basketball today? Go ahead and do that now. Some of you might be saying, I think we're learning about basketball because it's the last week of school and it's Miss Rossi's favorite sport. And I would say, that's exactly right. It is our last week of school, so we're gonna have a little bit of fun on our videos. And this is Miss Rossi's favorite sport, and so I thought it would be fun to talk a little basketball with you. All right, friends, we are not gonna go over our reading strategies this week because you've been learning reading strategies since August. You know how to answer inferential questions. You know about character change and character motivation and character feeling. You know how to read through the words. You know how to chunk your words. So today, you're going to practice all of those skills, all of that schema you have in your head. You're going to put it all together today and this whole week, and you're going to practice your reading and your reading answering questions. Okay, here we go. Today, we're reading about basketball. Miss Rossi can't wait to read with you. All right, friends, I want you to pause your video and read the table of contents now. All right, friends, let's start with our first chapter, a fun game. Go ahead, pause your video and read this page now. Second chapter, friends, go ahead and pause your video and read this page now. Pause your video and read this page now. Chapter 3, basketball today. Pause your video and read this page now. Excellent job, friends. Pause your video and read this page now. Pause your video and read this page now. Nice job. Next chapter called How to Play. Nice reading through the words, nice showing endurance. Go ahead and pause your video and read this page now. You don't have to read this basketball court page. I'm going to talk you through it when we go through our book, okay? So go ahead and pause your video and read this page now. Nice job. Next chapter. Go ahead and pause your video and read this page now. Pause your video and read this page now. Nice job. Next chapter, a sport for everyone. Friends, go ahead and read this last chapter now. And our last page, of course, is our glossary where it tells us the definitions of our bolded words in the text. So it's going to give us our definitions of words in the text. Go ahead, pause your video and read the glossary now. Excellent job, my friends. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and answer some questions about the text. Cannot wait. Okay. Friends, what do people play basketball with? What do you play basketball with? Go ahead and pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that people play basketball with an orange ball and a hoop. That's exactly right. And now if you've been in UC or DePaul, you know that there are basketball hoops in those two classrooms. And we give scholars basketball shots if they're doing an excellent job and being such a scholar. And we know that in our classrooms, we have two things. We have a basketball hoop and we have a ball. That's all you need to play basketball. Awesome, love it. Next question. How was basketball created? How was basketball created? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, a teacher wanted a new sport for his students because the winters were too cold to be outside. So when it was wintertime, the teacher wanted a game for the students, but they couldn't play a game outside because it was so cold with the snow. So what did the teacher do to create basketball? What did the teacher do to create basketball? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that the teacher put peach baskets on a wall and made a new game called basketball. So he took baskets and he put them on a wall and people would take the ball and shoot it into the peach baskets. Wow. It's really different today when we play basketball. Next question. What do children need today to play basketball? What do children need today to play basketball? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that all kids need is a basket and a ball. So just like Ms. Rossi said, that's what we have in our first grade classrooms. We have a basket and a ball. That's all you need to play basketball. Friends, I want you to look at this picture. This is one of the coolest pictures ever. These students are students that clearly live in a big city because look at all those tall buildings. So they live in a city. And you can see that the basketball hoop is high up in the city. So this might be a basketball hoop that's on the roof of a building. Wow. So we know that basketball hoops are in gyms. Basketball hoops are in parks. Basketball hoops are lots of different places. This basketball hoop is actually on the roof of a building. And it makes the view from the basketball court so cool. I just love that picture. How many basketball teams are there in the United States? How many basketball teams are there in the United States? Go ahead, pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, there are thousands of basketball teams. Thousands of basketball teams. Now remember, basketball is a team sport. You can't just play a basketball game all by yourself. There has to be 5 players. There has to be. So a lot of scholars go to schools where there are basketball teams at their school. Now, Great Lakes Academy will have a basketball team soon. Once you get to middle school, so when you're a little bit older, you'll be able to have the choice, if you would like, to play on a basketball team. When you go to high school, when all of my first grade scholars are at the best high schools in Chicago, you also can choose to play basketball. And if you're really, really good at basketball, you can also choose to play basketball in college and save money by playing basketball, which is also a really good option. Where are basketball teams in the world? Where are they? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, there are basketball teams in many countries around the world. So our country is the United States of America, but if you live in a different country like Spain or Brazil or Thailand or Puerto Rico, some of those countries that we've learned about, you can also play basketball in those different countries too. So basketball is all around the whole world. How do teams score points in basketball? How do teams score points? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that teams score points by throwing the ball through the other team's hoop. That's exactly right. You throw the ball through the other team's hoop, and if you make it in, you get 2 points. Which team wins the game? Which team wins the game? Pause your video and answer that question now. The team with the most points wins. So if I make the basketball hoop 20 times and the other team only made the basket 10 times, I win because I made more baskets. That's how we know who wins. Okay, this is a basketball court. So I want you to think about our Caffeinasium that we have. We have a little basketball court in our Caffeinasium at Great Lakes Academy. So we know we have this center circle. We have our hoops here, which we have to get out our hoops at Great Lakes, but just picture like the hoops are out. These are the baskets. You friends get on this baseline, and this baseline, when we line up and we play games, these are the baselines. These are the sidelines. We know we have a 3-point line. That's where you can shoot it and make 3 points. And this little thing is called the key. It's called this little thing in the middle of the basketball court is called the key. So that's a little basketball position lesson for you. Very nice. What 2 ways can players move the basketball? What 2 ways can players move the basketball? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, they can bounce the ball while they walk or run. We know that is called dribbling. So they can dribble. They can. Yeah, a lot of you guys would dribble during our gym classes, and that was so awesome. They also can throw the ball to another player. So players can dribble or pass. They can. All right, let's see your dribble. Okay, let's see your pass. Nice. Ooh, you guys are basketball stars. Dribble and pass. Nice job. All right, this is my favorite page. Scholars, why do some people think that Michael Jordan is the best player of all time? Why do some people think Michael Jordan is the best player of all time? Pause your video and answer that question now. In this story, I read that he played basketball for 16 years and scored thousands of points for his team. So that makes me think that he's a really good basketball player. That's right. He played for 16 years in the NBA, and he scored so many points for his team that people think he's the greatest of all time. Now, he also, since we all live in Chicago, and of course, Michael Jordan played for the Chicago Bulls. You can see in the picture here, he played for the Bulls. It says next to the picture, sometimes he was called Air Jordan because he could jump so high to make baskets. So Michael Jordan could dunk in the coolest way, and he could jump so high and from so far away. And the way that he played basketball was so good that some people think he's the best player ever. Interesting. Why do some people think Maya Moore is a great basketball player? Why do people think Maya Moore is a great basketball player? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, she one time made 48 points in a game. She scored 48 points in one game. Wow. And in this picture, Maya Moore is in college. She's playing basketball for her college, which is called the University of Connecticut. And she was so good at the University of Connecticut, and she scored so many points for her team that she went on to play in the WNBA, and she still plays in the WNBA. So she plays basketball for a living, which is pretty cool. Really nice job. How has basketball grown since it was created? How has basketball grown since it was created? Pause your video and answer that question now. In this story, I read that basketball is all around the world. It's in schools and parks. Show connection if you've seen basketball in a school. Yeah, we've played basketball at school, so I know you have. Show connection if you've seen basketball played in parks. Show connection if you've seen basketball played in a gym. Show connection if you've seen basketball played on TV. Show connection if you've ever played basketball. Awesome job. Now, the bottom of the book, it says, all you have to do is pick up a ball and find the nearest hoop. And just like the guy did at the beginning of the book, you could even just get a basket and shoot some hoops into a basket. And that's totally up to you. So next year, when you friends all come back and visit Miss Rossi in a different classroom, you guys can have some basketball shots in our new classroom, okay? It's going to be awesome. My last question is my challenge question for you. My second grade question is, why do you think basketball is important? Why is basketball important? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that basketball is played by kids and adults and different people all around the world. So that makes me think that people like to play basketball, and it's important because it's exercise and it keeps people busy. So people learn exercise because they're playing basketball, and they play it all around the world. And people get to play on a team when they play basketball. So it's important for all of those reasons. You might have said a different reason why basketball is important. Maybe you said basketball is fun. That's exactly right. Maybe you said you can win in basketball. That's also right. That could be important for some scholars. And there's lots of reasons why basketball is important. Nice job. Excellent, excellent job. All right, we read our glossary. You guys did a beautiful job with that. I want you to know that we only have 3 more days of videos, and you guys are going to do an awesome job. Don't forget, on Thursday, we're doing our Zoom party, and we are going to be sharing some memories from our school year. So please come to our Zoom party Thursday at 4 o'clock. It's our last one of the whole entire year. And then you guys are going to have brand new teachers after summer, okay? So please keep doing a good job, and I will see you friends tomorrow. Bye-bye.